Okay, we are back. You're good?
Can you hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear you just fine.
Okay.
You got your glass of water?
Yep.
Feel better?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, we're just going to get right into it. Doing this podcast with regular car reviews. I'm really excited to be doing this. This is actually a really exciting time. Okay, we're just going to start right into it and get right into it. And the first thing I want to kind of discuss and talk about is how the heck did you initially get started with doing regular car reviews?
It began during one Christmas break, during grad school it was. And I was home during that sort of dull winter, expansive grayness. And grad school is different than undergrad, because during winter break and undergrad, everybody comes home and all your friends from high school are back. And it's just like summer vacation, but winter.
Yeah.
But this was grad school. A lot of people had moved away. And I was watching homemade car videos and a few professional ones, semi-professional ones. And they were just boring me to tears. Because, and I've done this impression before, but so many of them were filmed with a Nikon Coolpix, and it's some dad out there with his Coolpix going, "Oh, here's my 1969 Camaro, and it's what you call American muscle. And her pulling you, and we'll give you a little tour, start it up for you here. And it's what, Sharon, get back inside. I'm doing a video." Anyway, we're back. We're gonna start it up right now. No replacement for displacement. And then, and then he turns it sideways, and it turns into a vertical video. So that was that.
That's awesome. Yeah, they put out a ton. Like, if you look at some, like, a lot of homemade videos are, like, just shit quality. Yeah. And it's really embarrassing, but it is what it is. That's why we are thankful to have people like you and a couple others that actually produce really good, entertaining, insightful videos with good information and aren't just the boring, "So, here's this car, and we're going to talk about this on this car. It has 50 horsepower at 50 RPMs and 50 torque." Like, that gets so boring.
I am not reading right now from the Wikipedia page about this car. I am not reading something that has been printed out by a Hewlett-Packard printer that...
Yeah, I know a couple of those. I don't want to name drop, but there are a couple of those that I watch purely for my own entertainment because it's so miserable. Yeah. So, you record a ton of cars, and you're actually doing seasons now, I think, which is pretty cool. What so far, and I'm sure you have more than one, maybe even do a top 3 or a top 1, whatever works for you. What has been your favorite car thus far that you've reviewed?
Favorite car, it's not my favorite car that I would want to own, but my favorite car to drive was the Grand National, the Buick Grand National.
I was just watching that one today.
Because there was a lot of excitement going into it. And I've driven some cars that were letdowns, that were a little bit, in the performance department.
Yeah.
Like, take the DeLorean. It was as cool to stand next to one as you could imagine. It's, how graphic can I be with you?
As graphic as you want, man.
You remember the first time you used your hand to trick your dick into thinking you were having sex?
Yeah, that happens often.
There was, the sitting into it was like, it's coming, Here it comes. I'm sitting in. The feeling of sitting into a Corvette was a similar feeling to being alone with a girl and watching her pull her shirt off.
Right.
Like, here it comes, and watching the horizon rise, that hemline of her American Apparel shirt climbing up over her bosom. As I'm being very descriptive now, I am about to sit in the Corvette. My gluteus maximus is lowering toward this 80s leather. I am grabbing the same kind of steering wheel that Marty McFly grabbed. There was that. Now,
Right.
when you drive one, now I had the privilege of driving two different DeLoreans.
Oh.
One, a daily driver, which was nice, but it was it showed that it was old.
Yeah.
It was completely drivable. It was a completely normal car. But it felt like you were driving a 1982 car.
Yeah.
And then I got to drive Matt Farah's. That's been completely taken apart and put back together. That thing felt
bastard.
modern.
You lucky bastard.
Yeah, we did a video on it.
Damn.
It felt so good, it felt normal.
Yeah.
And I equate it to, it feels like a Mitsubishi Eclipse, like an early 90s Mitsubishi Eclipse.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Only mid-engine rear.
Right.
Anyway. And you asked for, first car was, Grand National. Another really good car was, of course, the AW11. I want to own one someday.
Yeah.
Which is first generation MR2. A car like that was completely unsafe. And it is ruthlessly light. And if you want to talk numbers, it outclasses an AE86 in every single way, including lightness, including weight distribution.
Right.
And because it has the same engine. And you could get it with the trick little supercharger that Toyota made to go on it, because the AE86, and this is like, I gotta cut like out of my conversation even in casual talk. That
happens. Probably the most number one used word.
Talk like you have a degree, because you do.
Or just pretend like you don't. Whatever works. Fuck it.
To be geeky and numbers obsessed, a AE86, even in Japanese domestic market form, made in the 120 horsepower range.
Right.
The American AW11 with the factory supercharger made 148 horsepower and a smaller, lighter body. That was mid-engine rear, not front rear.
Right.
And the third most memorable car was one I can't talk about yet.
Oh, jeez. Uh-oh.
Yep.
Okay, well, that's okay. We can find out, I'm sure, at some point in time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people tend to neglect power to weight. And I think people just like to talk power. Like, if you look at the new Hellcat, like, they're like, oh, yeah, I saw one review and the guy was so hyped. He's like, oh, yeah, you get more horsepower than a Lamborghini. And I'm like, yeah, and it weighs as much as a truck. And it's not aerodynamic. And I don't know. I'm not a fan of those cars one bit. So I think people tend to neglect the benefits of power to weight. Like, a lot of people are, they're like turboing their FRSs and all that. I've seen a lot of those going on.
Good. Excellent. Very good.
I've yet
We
to
wanted the
we
wanted the STI version. Like, are you going to give an STI FRS or BRZ? You know you can do it. Give it to me.
They're not though, because I don't think so, because if you think about it, for Scion, that's like their flagship car. But for Subaru, it's not. Not even close. The STI is their flagship car, and the BRZ was just an addition. It was like, hey, let's get something else we could team up with Scion. You know what I mean? So I think they're never going to do that, because if they do that, I feel like they're going to lose a lot of STI customers, which would be fine, because then they could just leave it as an Impreza. which I feel like no one would really have too much of a problem with that because they just look like sedans anyway. I'm not a huge STI fan. I mean, I like them, but as far as looks goes, it's not my cup of tea.
I'm holding off my opinion because I never drove one.
Yeah, I've been in several, and I was in a Stage 2 STI that was on its third engine. It was a 13.
Nice.
Yeah, this kid kept blowing him up, but he worked for Subaru, so he, like, I don't know, whatever he did to get around that, to get 3 engines out of it. But, yeah, he was like, yeah, man, it's Stage 2, it produces 8 million horsepower, blah, 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 blah. And then we drove it, and I was like, not impressed. And that was in Stage 2. So for me, but I don't know, I guess maybe it was just the feel of the car.
It is the feel of the car. A lot of what makes you excited when you drive is that good, mild adrenaline kick where your brain feels you are in danger a little bit. Something's going wrong here. And that's one of the wonderful things about the Grand National, because its turbo is so huge and its boost is so laggy. You kind of think it's not coming or that something's wrong.
Yeah.
And then this Russian gymnast shoves his forearms via your ass crack and then shoves you into a swimming pool that has just a little bit under full, and you're wondering if there's enough water in there that's going to break your fall. What was another really good car that scared you a little bit? Corvette, kind of.
Yeah, I feel like
there is a lot of low-end pull that car will do.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have to go back and look at my own catalog, because it's been a while. Well, I believe, and someone who's more knowledgeable than me will tell me how many cars I've reviewed, because I've lost count now.
God, 1 million?
At least over 100.
Yeah.
What's a good car that was scary? Miata fun, not all that scary, although I've never driven a flying Miata or a turbo one.
Yeah.
Chevy Blazer, that was just old. Scary, but in a depressing way.
I have to ask, what did you actually think about the Z? There's 2 cars I absolutely have to ask about because I've owned both of them. The Z. Mm-hmm. What did you think about the Z?
I think a Z is what you buy when you want a Corvette but you don't.
Yeah.
A 370Z is what you buy when you want a Corvette C6, but when someone buys you a scratch-off lottery ticket for a birthday present, you simultaneously think, well, you're a cheap bugger and you have a gambling problem. A 370Z, yes, a Corvette C6 is more powerful than a 370Z. A 370Z is more expensive. Mm-hmm. But you buy a 370Z where you want more out of your car than to drive slow through a mid-state PA town, gurning and waving to people on the sidewalk while your wife wears a floppy sun hat.
Yeah, and I think a lot of older men that own Corvettes mistake their cars for like a Lamborghini or a Ferrari.
But at the same time, I like Corvettes. But
yeah,
a Corvette is driving a Corvette is the same. Driving a Corvette is a rolling social equivalent to getting up in front of a podium and asking for a moment of silence for those who have left us.
Yeah.
No matter what function you're doing, you ask for a moment of silence, you get it. You would drive a Corvette, people are going to smile because of course they're going to smile.
Right.
370Z is more complicated. because it's less displacement, but there's more technology in it. It's a Corvette. You're willing to be beaten, especially in torque. When I drove one, it's like a good engine is not a lot of torque there.
Yeah.
Of course, I am spoiled after driving the Corvette C7, which the Corvette C7 will trounce the 370Z and maybe even the 370Z Nismo. The base model C7 is fantastic.
Yeah, it's significantly faster. My old neighbor had a C6, and I could even tell from that it was significantly quicker. Mm-hmm. And I mean, they're beautiful cars and they're wonderful cars. They're just, I don't know. I don't know. I would love to have one. I'd love to own one, but I think that the 370s, they're just very elegant, and I don't want to say there's a lot of history just with them, because there's a lot
Well,
of
they're going all the way back to the 60s.
Yeah, but the Corvettes have also gone back quite a way.
Yeah, Corvettes go back to the 50s, go back another decade. But the 370 does continue what its lineage did, especially in the 70s. I mean, in the 70s, they were a little bit like Triumph Spitfires in appearance, with the sort of scooped out headlights.
Yeah.
And they were meant to be smaller cars, and as they grew in power and grew in dimensions, especially width, because you look at those ones from the 70s, they are narrow cars.
Right.
Nowadays, they share a lot of dimensions with the C6 Corvette.
Yeah. As much as I love them, and I own one, and I've wanted one for years. Well, I wanted, initially, before they even came out, I wanted a 350, but the only problem with them is that I think they're going to have some trouble competing if they don't change the power output, because everything's becoming a powerhouse now, and it's all just numbers on paper. Yeah. And a naturally aspirated 6-cylinder engine is not going to be able to compete in sales, simply because that's not what people really want anymore. They want a turbo,
especially if you're moving up in price point.
Yeah,
because you look at a guy who has 3 Subway franchises, and he's feeling the squeeze of time and his prostate. How does he want to cruise into the sunset of his autumn years? Does he want a Corvette, or does he want a 370? So, yeah. And if especially if he looks at younger men who are more virile, and as I think I said in one video, a guy who, this was Half Nine, or maybe Roman wrote this, a man whose piss stream is strong enough to push a 2-liter bottle of soda across the table. And there's a word for the fear of youth. And if the 370C is still very much a youthful car, whereas the Corvette, with maybe the exception of the 370, aligns itself with Harley Davidson in massaging everybody's dads into remembering the glory of the first Bush administration, L.A. riots notwithstanding, of course.
Yeah. The way you word things is very unique.
Thanks.
How you go about doing that. I'm sure someone's had to have commented on that before, because it's just fantastic. This is kind of funny. So when my girlfriend wrote this down, I'll show you in a second. The way that I initially found out about regular car reviews, I owned an RX-8, and that's the other car that I wanted to talk to you about, because people have very mixed views. It's a love-or-hate car, I feel. And a buddy of mine came up to me, and he was like, "Hey, Mike," and I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Triangles, triangles, triangles." And I started laughing. I'm like, "What the hell are you talking about?" He's like, "Oh, you do gotta watch this video, Mike. You gotta watch this fucking video. This guy's hilarious." And I watched it, and I was like, "Oh man, maybe it's gonna be this really nice review on RX-8." And you just shit on it. Well, some of it.
The thing that reminds me of the RX-8, why does the e-brake have a bark buster? Why? Why does it have that extra bit? Am I going to be grabbing at this so vigorously I need to protect my knuckles? this thing like a knuckle duster. See, every time I see you drink a drink, I'm going to try to make you laugh. Like you're a...
There's been 0 occasions in the 1.5 years that I owned it that I ever needed to worry about hurting my hand from pulling the e-brake.
Yeah.
And the only time I think I pulled the e-brake was after I turned the car off.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I never really had to worry about that. Yeah, but that whole entire video was just hilarious, especially now that I don't have it anymore.
Well, rotary engine cars are like boats. This isn't my line, but the greatest day in a boat owner's life, the 2 greatest days in a boat owner's life is the day he buys his boat and the day he sells his boat.
Yeah.
And the same is true of rotary enthusiasts.
Right. Well, it was a struggle because I had, okay, so I'm sure you're aware of what flooding is in the RX-8s.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had left my car at my house to go on vacation, and I had just gotten it, and I told my stepdad, I said, make sure you turn it on and let it run and just let it warm up because I'm going to be gone a couple days, and if you don't start them for a few days, they start to get kind of funky. And he was like, oh, yeah, sure, whatever, yeah. So I called him while I was on vacation. I said, hey, did you let my car run? And he goes, yeah, I turned it on, man. It's perfectly fine. I'm like, blah, blah, blah. So I go, okay, great. So I come home, and I go to turn it on, and it goes, wah, 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 which is literally like getting a dick to the ear because you just know it's not turning over. And he flooded it because this is what he did. He turned it on, and then turned it right back off. And so it flooded. Yeah, and ever since then, every time I would turn it on, it would blow. It would just shit smoke out of the exhaust. No idea why. I don't know if I blew a seal or whatever happened, but it just totally fucked it. And then I moved down to Savannah, and then I scrapped that car, and ended up, that's when I got my Z. Yeah, it was, that car was something interesting, though. Hoses would blow every 2 seconds. It was, God, but it was so great, because there's so much to talk about with it, but...
You buy an RX-8 when you need pain in your life.
Is that because I took a drink?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Okay. So is there any, I know you're coming down south. Is that your leaving?
Yes.
Okay.
I got a week to get my act together. And I also have a week to finish 2 reviews. Editing. They're all written. In fact, right before we started this, I recorded one so that RCR will not stop even when we're on the road for 15 days. Every single Monday, a video. I have to get them up on YouTube and have them scheduled to release on Monday so that even when we're on the road and nowhere near an internet connection, the show doesn't stop.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
I like how RCR never misses a Monday. We're always there.
Yeah, and I've noticed some of the POV videos don't get quite as many views, which I'm kind of let down on because I feel like that really gets to show you as a person. I love those. I personally love those because I think that it's not just like I love them both for 2 different reasons. Your reviews are obviously awesome because it's a review and you do a great job. It's entertaining and I know I'm going to laugh my ass off and get some knowledge. But then I love the POV videos where it's just very like it's a point of view. It's a personal video where it's like I'm sitting, like when I listen to it, it's like I'm sitting in the car with you guys, kind of like I'm there. And I think that that's something that's, I don't know, I just like it. I like that a lot.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, man. So, are there any cars, I know that you probably already have some set that you already know you're going to drive, and we don't have to talk about any of that, but are there any cars that you have not set up to review yet that you would really, really, really want to review?
I want a big Mercedes from the 80s.
Really?
RCR still hasn't done a Mercedes yet. Never got a hand on a single one. And as of now, there are 0 scheduled.
Man,
so
I literally was expecting you to just name some crazy off-the-wall supercar, quite honestly.
We've been in a few BMWs, but no Mercedes. I want to drive around and feel as if my opinion on the service at Citizens Bank matters.
Right.
I want to, and I'm not talking some early 2000s.
Where they fucked them up?
Talk 80s.
Right.
With
they were
it's got
boats.
foam on it, maybe white wall tires.
Yeah.
I want to look like a Hartford wasp rolling into, oh gosh, how deep can I go with these references? I don't feel like
you go as deep as you can.
A Hartford wasp, meaning Hartford, Connecticut. Wasp, meaning white Anglo-Saxon Protestant.
Right. You got it, man. I believe in you. Drink some more water.
Rolling up to, geez, how old is Wegmans? Wegmans go back to the 80s? I don't know. What state are you in?
I'm in Georgia.
Okay, so you never heard of Wegmans.
No, I was in Ohio, though.
Oh, there is a Wegmans?
No. I was in Ohio. Like, I don't know if there's any in Ohio. I used to live in Ohio for 23 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
This reference, I'm a Hartford wasp in his Mercedes 300 rolling up for a quiet evening on Lake Cayuga in upstate New York, because that's where you can get away from the riffraff.
Nailed it. I think if you ever do a video on an 80s Mercedes, you should have that quote documented and put directly into the video.
Thanks.
I think
ideally it would want to be the 300D because diesel.
Oh yeah, that would be interesting. I don't know. I don't know if I've ever been in a car that is diesel. I'm pretty sure the only thing I know about diesel cars is they use glow plugs. That's as far as I know about diesel cars. I don't know.
My penis. You're about to take a drink.
I'm literally going to hide the camera so you. Every time I go to take a drink, I'm just gonna show you the area that I'm in my room, and I'm just gonna point the camera at my girlfriend, who's like,
"Well, don't tell me that. Now I know."
Oh well, too bad. It's still gonna happen anyway. It's gonna make you laugh. If you literally just look at what I'm looking at right now, it's actually a pretty hilarious setting. It's like I'm in this little apartment with a random hookah, my dog sleeping, and some clothes in a chicken-shaped basket. Hamper. Hamper's the word. Thank you, Hi. Yeah, my girlfriend literally wanted me to mention the triangles thing. She even, wrote it down.
Talk about the triangles.
Dude, she lost her shit when she watched that video and you said, triangle. She literally lost her shit, and that's all I heard about for a week.
If I ever do a rotary, should I bring back the triangles joke, or should I move on to Doritos or something else?
No, well, maybe. Maybe you could just do both. I think the more references to what the engine could be, the better. Yeah. Dorito engines. God damn, this car. If they just had perfected it just a tiny... I could talk about that for hours. But anyway, okay, yeah, fuck that. So, you drive a Honda?
Yes.
Which is a little bizarre because I feel like that's so far away from what I feel like I saw you driving before I knew that.
I had a Toyota Echo when our started, and then I lost that. Yeah. And then I got and then the fans of the show were incredibly generous and pledged to a fundraising campaign.
What? Was it on GoFundMe or something like that?
It was on Fund Anything.
Okay. God,
and
that's awesome.
I set a goal of, look, if you want to help me out, help keep the show going, I just need something. Just some kind of car.
Yeah.
And I said, I can do $5,000, I can do anything. So we're going to set the goal at $5,000.
Right.
And if you if we happen to make more than that, I'll just go out. We'll set it toward a big road trip going out to Boulder, Colorado.
Yeah.
And we made the goal was 5,000, and we made 15.
God,
so,
damn, you're like living the high life.
But I was true to my word. No, I was true to my word. I am only spending $5,000 on a car. So what can you get? Honda Fit, perfect.
Boom.
Little hatchback. That's all we're buying. All the money went into a savings account and kept RCR rolling until about, a few months ago. So that money lasted over a year, to just keep it. Now we were able to live a little bit extravagantly in that when we went to Boulder, we didn't have to crash on couches. Yeah, I'm living the high life at the Howard Johnsons,
Yeah.
But yeah, it was nice to stay in at hotels. And we also used the money to fly to LA and meet the Smoking Tire and do some filming there. Yeah,
Matt Farah, he does some great videos.
Total mensch, the guy. He's a great guy.
Yeah, he seems.
If you ever met him, I made this point in my video. You're with him, and within 5 seconds, you're just comfortable around him. He immediately comes across like a college buddy he always had.
He was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and I was listening to him. I watched the whole entire thing. It was great. I love Joe Rogan. I love Matt Farah. So when I found that video, I was like in heaven. And
Train by day, Joe Rogan podcast by night.
Yes.
All day.
Yes.
Yeah, I listen to him all the day. I have a boxing class. I'm a total tourist when I go in.
Yeah.
But I like it because I can have at least a few breadcrumb nuggets of knowledge that when Joe talks about technique and forms, like, okay, I know the very basics about how to throw a punch, what a stand is, what southpaw is. I know that when I'm trying to get into my off stance, I'm completely awkward. I'm trying to jab with my right hand, and it feels freaking weird. And also my stance gets, when I go into and I'm even like mimicking it now, when I get into my off stance or southpaw or whatever the correct term is, I'm trying to jab with my right hand. Oh, sorry.
I'm envisioning
actually doing it. I have my mic.
I can hear it.
Yeah, I have my jab in the right hand. My stance gets really wide, and I'm no longer standing really facing the bag. I'm standing like I'm on a snowboard, and I have to remember, get that left leg front. You don't want to stand completely sideways because then your cross is coming like a B-52. It's going to come really far and really slow. And also I can't kick worth crap.
Right.
I'm totally inflexible. Like I can't even reach a shoulder. Like when the instructor on our group class calls out for a head kick, I'm like, well, best of luck. So I'd have to take like a yoga class or something because even touching my toes is, it hurts.
I think that's a lot of people, though. I think a lot of people have stretching problems. I don't know. My mom's 50 years old, and she does yoga, and she can just do all kinds of shit that I could never even dream to do.
Yeah.
Flexible-wise, I'm not very flexible.
No.
Not like you.
I know, because it's something that's neglected because it has the whole frou-frou thing to it. Of course, I should just put my money where my mouth is and just go to the gym that I go to. They offer a bunch of yoga classes.
Yeah. I'm one of those I'll do it tomorrow kind of people.
Exactly.
So, and then tomorrow comes and then it just resets itself. I'll do it the next day. But the other thing that my girlfriend says I think kind of killed me is I'm a W sitter. I don't know if you're aware of what that is. People normally sit Indian style. And I sit with my legs shaped like a W. And apparently that's not good for flexibility or your hips or anything else. So, yeah. I feel like I would really be not the best at boxing or kickboxing or MMA just for that reason. But yeah, Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan's great. And I feel like a lot of people don't know how, like, intellectual he is.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. The last thing that I wanted to discuss with you, how do you find your cars?
Convenience.
Really? Like, do people, like, are you just so popular now that, like, people come to you?
Occasionally they do, but I don't want them coming to my apartment.
Right.
Hello, internet person. I'll meet them in a nearby town if they feel like coming by here.
Yeah.
When it comes to selecting cars, here's another thing, because regular car reviews is so dirty. It's hard. You couldn't just go to a car show or a car meet and say, "Can I do your car?" Because some guys are heavily emotionally invested in their Nissan 240SX that they. Sorry, Dan. Shout out to my friend Dan who has a 240.
Sorry, Dan.
Let me use a different car. They're heavily invested into their 1998 Civic with the K20 swap in it to be able to stomach fundamental criticism about their car coupled with dick jokes. Like, how on earth am I going to explain regular car reviews to some guy with a Semper Fi tattoo and a Chevy Nova with a 500 cubic inch engine in it? Hey, let me drive your car,
right?
And make jokes about the My Lai massacre.
Right. Dude, I honestly am so in shock that you've reached this point with just such a mass amount of popularity, because it's pretty much like, okay, man, so here's the deal. No one gets to see my face. I'm going to review your car. I'm going to make some jokes. I'm going to drop some knowledge that people probably, even with a degree, don't understand. And then I might shit on your car a little bit. How's that sound?
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah, I'm going to outright just make fun of your car. And so I have to go with what I'm given. So that weeds out a lot of people. Well, I spent a lot of money on this car and you're just going to make fun of it? Well, I don't even ask people. I can only use the cars that are offered to me.
Right.
Most of them are very far away, which necessitates a bit of crowdfunding to be able to travel to them. Because there's only so much in mid-state PA.
Yeah, and then you have to worry about driving through potholes, other people's cars.
Oh, it's so hard to film in PA.
Fuck that. I left that shit.
Our Pennsylvania Department of Transportation. We have a lot of roads, but we have very poor bases, and so, and well, if you're in Ohio.
Yeah. That's why, part of the reason why I left. No more potholes down here, and the beach, and the sunshine, and the city. Okay.
The other thing that I use to choose cars is, and in a very Adam Carolla way, take this in the spirit in which it's intended.
Yeah.
The owner must be calm in mind and sane in demeanor.
Right.
Because I need you meaning the car volunteer, to be able to keep it together for the 3 penis palms.
Bastard.
To be able to keep it together for the 3 for the 3 hours we're together in public.
Right.
I need you, and this is something Joe Rogan said. Joe Rogan was talking about this, that, or the other, and he mentioned how some guys are walking around all day already at level 9. Someone bumps them, someone cuts them off in traffic. They get held up at an ATM. Someone pauses a little too long at a stoplight, and they get angry.
Yeah.
I need that. Because we're out here with some cameras filming. I need your behavior at its Sunday best. Some people can't do that. And you see it at car meets. Some people can't keep it together at a car meet. Some people, oops, my foot slipped off the clutch. Or they figure that I'm with my people now. The needs of my horsepower peacocking now transcend the state laws regarding safe motoring.
Yeah, that's very true. I think people at car meets are also, they get really wigged out at who parks by them and how close people park by them. It's almost like I feel like people at car meets get very entitled. They feel very
Good
entitled.
word.
Yeah. Especially in shitty cars, I've noticed that as well. But then also at the same time, you have to think that like there's so many douchebags out there that ruin it because they come like drifting in like inches away sometimes from people's cars, like almost just annihilating them. So I can see both sides.
Yeah. Well, look at it this way. Remember in high school, those people who barely showed up for class, and if they asked to borrow your mechanical pencil, they'd return it snapped in half because fuck you, that's why.
Yeah. Oh god.
They all got driver's licenses and they're rolling around the highways now.
Yeah. Fuck.
They're out there. All the kids in the lower 10% of the grade point average, the kind of people who would do their best to break the the blinds in the classroom, the ones who wanted nothing more than to rip the screens out of the classroom window and throw the weights from the weighted the pre-made physics experiments,
Yeah.
for the people who would take the triple lever, I forget what they're called, the triple lever scale from chemistry class and take it home to weigh their weed. Those guys all have driver's licenses.
And that fucks me up, dude. That literally fucks me up because I know so many people out there that are like that I went to school with.
Yeah.
I'm like, shit, you drive a car? That like makes me nervous.
Yeah, they shit out kids. Anyway, now we get to talk about them. Yeah, nah. But yeah, anyway, circle of life.
Well, I do really, really, really appreciate you being on my podcast. That means a lot to me. And I'm very much so looking forward to seeing your videos that are coming out. I'm really excited to see what cars you chose.
Every Monday, regular car reviews on YouTube.
I will be on there, liking it, sharing it.
And tomorrow's Monday.
Tomorrow? Oh my shit! Tomorrow is Monday.
Well, whenever this podcast goes up, it'll be up later. But
Right.
maybe you can guess the type of car.
Oh shit! You want me to guess right now?
Yeah. Okay. I think I can remember how the review goes. Hello, son. I'm your dad. As you know, your mother and I have gotten a new Infiniti. And so the family car is now yours. I know you have a lot. You're going to be a senior next year, and you got a lot going on now with Citizen B and Quiz Bowl and Advirathon and National Honor Society and Indoor Drumline and Alethea Club. The family car is now yours, and it is a big responsibility. I know with a car like this comes a lot of responsibility, like driving like a hothead and poking it in the brown, chubby chasing. You take care of the insurance, and it's still going to be in our name. So how do you like that?
Damn. So.
Front wheel drive, 4 doors, not American.
Oh, front wheel drive, 4 doors, not American. Subaru's all-wheel drive. That was really dumb right off the bat.
Not American, not German.
Nissan, man, that sounded bad. Nissan Altima. That's going to be my guess.
That is a very, very good guess. I won't confirm it or deny it. I like the way you think because I said Infiniti, didn't I?
You did say Infiniti, but I didn't think you'd be too obvious.
Maybe it's a Nissan. Would you say Altima or Maxima?
I said Altima.
Okay, that's fair enough.
That is my that is my guess. Yeah, and because
You'll find out tomorrow.
You did say Infiniti, and I was like, okay, I understood. I'll find out tomorrow.
You'll find out tomorrow.
And I better be goddamn right. You better be looking for my comment that either says, oh shit, I was right, or, oh fuck, I was wrong. So, look out for my comment. Again, thank you so very much for being on here. And I'll go ahead and shoot you a message or whatever after, and I'll let you know when it goes up and all that kind of stuff, and I'll keep you posted.
Yep.
So,
private message on Twitter is also very good, or direct message on Twitter.
Use that more than Facebook?
No, I use Facebook more than Twitter.
Okay.
So yeah, maybe Facebook would be better.
Yeah, I don't usually,
Right.
I don't know too much about Twitter. I need to get on that. I don't know. Who the fuck knows? I'll get in touch with you though.
Twitter is what you use when you're taking a shit.
If you just did a whole video with that voice, that would be...
Well, number one, it would get very old. And
It would not?
It really hurts my throat when I do this.
It wouldn't get old, and they make things to numb your throat. If you've ever dated a kinky girl, you would know that. So, alright, man.
Works faster than you can say ambisol.
Jesus Christ.
All
Alright. No, I love your humor.
One time in school, you know, in the 90s, you had to make your own fun.
Yeah.
And one day, I just kept putting ambisol in my lips because it made Algebra 2 pass faster. It's like, well, this is different. Everything is the same at this high school. But putting ambisol in my gums...
Ambisol?
Well, it's something new. It's February. I'm not kissing anybody for Valentine's Day anyway. Might as well feel like a coked up Steven Tyler.
Ambisol. Wow, man, this is kind of embarrassing. I'm not really familiar with that.
Ambisol
Stupid.
is
Should I know what it is?
Oral anesthetic and pain reliever. Ambisol rubs on your gums before they give you a shot.
Okay. I understand.
Ambisol mildly, like you can get it. Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. They give you that.
Yeah.
It comes in a little brown bottle. It's about $10 a bottle. They make generic stuff that's cheaper. It's all the same. Yeah. But Ambisol is the brand name, and you just put it on your lips and and then
it goes numb, and then you start the watering. Your mouth starts watering.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friends that had braces were like, "Hey man, put this on your lips," and I'm like, "Okay, of course." In high school, and I'm like, "Hey, it's in my fucking lips, man." Drawing up, hey.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably won't ever do that again. So okay, looking forward to Monday. Sounds great. I hope it's an Ultima, and I'll be really excited to watch it. And in the meantime, for anyone that does watch this that doesn't know about him, definitely go check out Regular Car Reviews because it is very insightful and hilarious and just an overall good time. So,
okay.
All right, man. Take it easy. I'll talk to you in a few minutes. All right. Bye, man.
Bye.